Do not tell this guy that if tax cuts just fade away and never happen, well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You see, this guy is into cookies, sugar-free cookies, and I'm told they're delicious. I find the concept a little weird that sugar-free anything can be delicious, but I digress. He's the CEO of Joseph's Lite Cookies. Joseph Semprevivo is with us right now. Joe, very good to have you.
Hey, great, Neil. Thanks a lot for having me.
You know, I read your column, I guess. What paper was I reading this in? It was a great column, by the way.
Washington Times, yeah.
Well, la-da-dee-da. Good for you. And what I liked about it is you said what you like is this tax cut for small businesses, pass through concerns like your own that pay at the top rate of close to 40%, getting a rate that would get all the way down to 25%. You said, sign me up for that, right? And there are a lot of other small businesses like you. Explain.
You know, you're spot on, Neil. A lot of people don't understand even what a pass-through is. They hear pass-through and they kind of freak out or their eyes glaze over. It's a mom and pop. Go outside your door, right. Look from your left to your right, your neighbors, lawn care service, healthcare, little health and beauty shops and nail salons, pizza parlors. That's a mom and pop business. That's a pass-through. And what we're doing, every pass-through in America, which is, 29 million small businesses, every time we make a dollar, 39.6 cents goes into a bank account. We put it in a bank account to reserve it to pay our taxes at the end of the year or for estimated taxes. We're taking that money out of the economy instead of putting it to work by giving raises, expanding our businesses, and focusing on sales, hiring an extra salesperson, making more revenue, thus growing our business. That's what we should be focusing on rather than reserving money and putting it in a bank to pay our taxes at the end of the year.
So what would you do with this extra? Just that? In other words, you'd pour it into your operation, expand, hire more people, or what?
Yeah, that's a great question. Businesses, our training expenses, by the time someone's fully trained, all the mistakes that are made, et cetera, is about $60,000 a year. So there's a couple things we want to do. Number one, with the tax cut from 39.6 down to 25%, that free up cash we get to take out of the account. We could give raises, we can give extra training, continuing education to our team members, and that way we can keep them rather than hiring new people. Number one. Number two, we can expand internationally. We hear this whole debate about tax cut. We never hear about what that means internationally. For domestic companies, U.S.-based companies like mine and all the other ones, we get to get our funds and compete against Ireland that has a 12.5% income tax. That difference of 39.6 to 25 is a 14.6% savings. That means we can afford to lower our prices domestically and internationally by 14.6% to become more competitive.
But in the end, if you think about it, I mean, even though you start from a higher level versus the corporate rate that right now is at 35%, they don't all pay that. Your rate won't go down as low as some corporations if the president's rate, strategy sticks. In other words, it would go to 20% for big guys, 25% for you.
And that's the big conundrum in the United States now. What we're experiencing, that the biggest challenge is, you look at the large, big players out there in all industries, they have 100+ staff accountants. Small businesses have none. And we don't know the loopholes. We can't navigate through those loopholes like big businesses. So everything is more of a challenge for us. The money that we spend for accountants is a big portion of our budget versus large corporations paying almost nothing and the subsidies that they get from taxpayers. We want to level the playing field. So little businesses, small businesses that employ 60 million Americans, which is half of the workforce in America, can now compete against the Apples of the world, et cetera, the large businesses in the world, because we're leveling that playing field.
Okay, real quickly, will you branch out into sugar cookies then, and drop the sugarless thing?
Hey, look, I know you love your cannolis, but right. we could come. You'll be surprised with our cookies. It's one massive.
No, I've heard great things. Joseph, I wish you well. You articulated this better than all those fancy pants guys in Washington. Thank you very much. Good seeing you.